Good afternoon, everybody. The time is 12:01.
I'm so sorry.
No, not yet?
The people online can't hear us. I already called IT. It's not getting the.
Is it because we're muted? No, ¿verdad?
No,
Is
it's
it on? Is that
It's
thing
the.
on?
It's not picking this up.
Yeah. I don't know.
Did we connect it and disconnect?
Go to
That always
volume or
works.
where the.
Promise you.
Two.
the
Car
volume.
reset. Turn it off and on.
Cuando está el unmute,
Or check the mute button right there. Is it that?
It's
No,
it's not
it's
picking
there.
it out.
ese,
There's
y no,
That
y no
one's
sale el
yellow.
owl ahí, you have to grab the owl from there.
Okay.
Click on the little arrow, Jaime, where it says unmute, the arrow, audio
Que diga
options,
owl.
speakers.
Speakers. Or is
The
that
owl?
the Samsung or something?
Is the all turned on?
Do it again to see what other options it gives you.
Samsung.
Do it again, the little arrow,
Ah.
Que te mandé el
the arrow. Now do the arrow.
It's not picking up the owl, right?
No.
Is it on?
Yes, it's no microphone.
Nos pone amarillo, verde, azul.
Exit.
No, está conectada la luz,
Is your power leading to this one?
Allá abajo está conectado, pero I don't know.
Oh.
Tiene un cable ahí, mira,
You haven't called the meeting.
ese gray one,
The gray one?
but I don't know if that.
I just plugged in something else unplugged.
Oh,
It's
there
on
you
big
go.
picture. There you go.
Yes.
Ya aprendió. So,
We'll call the meeting to order once we make sure that,
everything's okay.
they're working. Do the little arrow again.
Dice start video, debe salir también el owl, ¿no?
Yes.
There it is. There it is. There it is. The first one.
Ya despertó.
Can you hear us now?
Who's
I know.
that?
I know
That's the
you
owl.
know.
Oh, I thought somebody. No, it does it, ahí está.
Omar, can you hear us?
It's a way to come.
Yes, I sure can. How you guys? Good afternoon.
Ahora sí. No nos tardamos más que dos minutos. Good afternoon, everybody. The time is 12:04, May 9th, 2024, here at the City Council Hall, first floor of the conference room. I'm calling to order the City of Laredo Economic Development Committee meeting. Next item
Roll.
is roll call. Miriam,
Yeah.
también, Miriam Castillo.
Here.
René González, not yet. Ilan Aguirre, Cesar Garay,
Present.
Mayra Hernandez,
Present.
Arturo Dominguez here, Omar Mian,
Yes.
Mi-
He's online. Omar.
Present.
President
Present.
Carol Alexandra,
Here.
Fernando Baldasso,
Here.
Julian Rofnowski. Okay.
We have
Let the
one.
record show that a quorum of the committee members is present, that this meeting is duly called, and that the notice of the meeting was posted in accordance with the Texas Open Meetings Act.
Mr. Chairman, may I recognize Rene Gonzalez?
Let the record show that Mr. Gonzalez is here. Alrighty. Any citizens' comments? Moving on.
There are no citizen comments online.
Alrighty. No citizens' comments. Motion to approve the minutes of the last meeting. First motion by Mr. Gonzalez,
Second.
second by Mayra Hernandez. Any comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Committee items requests. Discussion and possible action regarding downtown safety and security and any other matters incident thereto. Mr. Rofnowski no está, no, I have no idea what he wanted to say. Does anybody know? You can talk to me.
We can read the item and then enter into discussion. I know we have some members of the police department that we can
Okay.
start the conversation.
Okay, so let's start the conversation regarding,
I think she was
you want me
yeah.
to read it
You're gonna
again?
read the
Okay, I'm gonna read the item again, so you understand. Discussing with possible action regarding downtown safety and security and any other matters incident thereto.
Mr. Chairman, I think this item by committee member Julian Rodnowski had to do with some of the initiatives and some concerns that are going on in downtown, particularly 8th Street. We do have with us Benito Martinez, Deputy Chief for the Laredo Police Department, and we also have Mr. Rami Mutuk with us. We had a meeting 2 weeks ago to briefly talk about this particular item that had also been brought up by other concerned individuals. Particularly on, I think, and I know Mr. Rovnatsky is not here, but I will briefly explain some of the challenges and some of the concerns that were expressed in the past through my department and city manager's office, having to do with the enforcement of bars in downtown and underage individuals. I will tell you that we had an initial conversation to put together some sort of initiatives that can address these issues. We're already in the stage of evaluating also what other cities are doing, but I will let Chief Martinez give us a brief update on that.
Mr. Chair, Miriam, is this the same, is this sort of like the presentation that you all made at the police department like during the summer?
Yeah, well, that's part of it, that's the operation we have for the bars, but this is more the challenge here is the underage drinking that was brought up, so we were discussing on creating like a task force with the TABC, which is Texas Alcohol Beverage Commission. So we're in the process of setting up a meeting to get that going, because we had operations there, like in certain bars that had specific underage which we did work with TABC and were able to shut them down. So we're in the process of that, of starting again, of bringing TABC. Lieutenant Matuk is working on setting up a meeting. But as far as that's where we're at right now. If anybody has any specific questions.
I have a specific question. Thank you for being here. Connected to that. I know that some of the concerns, speaking with some of the business owners along that street, is I know you just commented too that you had a task force and went out there and shut some people down.
Correct.
But potentially, I mean, that could happen, right, without the lights making it look like a crime scene all down the street. And I'm just wondering what the process is to either use lights to show a police presence or not, because when people go down there, myself included, if I see a police car with the lights going, I feel like there's a crime going on. And it might dissuade me from going down there in the future, because connected to that, idea that there's illegal activity going on.
Is that a standard procedure?
One of the things for the lights is, because the issue of closing Iturbide, because the request from bar owners, close Iturbide, so we can have, something similar to what is it, 6th Street in Austin. So that's the reason we have the lights to, shut it down for safety, to prevent drivers from accessing that. I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, but would you agree with me that seeing, I mean, I know you're probably a police officer,
Yes,
right?
I am.
But I'm not. So when I see police lights, I'm more inclined to stay away from that than go forward and say, this is where I want to go have a good time with police lights at each end.
Allow me to comment. Most of the cities that I've been to, including other parts of the world, the lights actually make you feel safer. There's police presence, and it's also of safety for the law enforcement officers. As cars may be approaching and they see the lights, they'll slow down. They'll know that there's something going on, so it's safer for everybody. So
6th Street.
it's actually a standard procedure in Mexico. Anywhere they're driving, even though they're not chasing anybody, they have the lights on, so people can feel safer.
I was just in Mexico this weekend on a street that was closed, no police lights.
And it's
Well, I grew up
really,
there.
Yeah, I
can tell you.
respectfully disagree as well. I've been
Go back, which
trying
one?
to
Wait, hold on,
run
hold on.
cities, I've never seen
Point of
it.
order.
Some-
That's true.
yeah, and it's really perception, you may perceive it like that and someone else, just like
Right,
we're
right,
talking
yeah,
about right now.
Right.
But I would say, you both are correct.
Mhm.
Again, it's perception, the person that's perceiving it that way. But again, that's there for safety and at the request of the barn, we're closing the streets, all those things.
So I'm gonna request as a stakeholder here downtown, if we could, working through the business improvement district, if we could maybe set up, a meeting with the property owners that are affected so that we can, just have a conversation about,
Of course, yeah, and that's part of the plan. That's part of the plan, to get all this together and then, as the chief mentioned before, he had a meeting, I don't know if you were present at the police department,
I
that
was.
meeting. So he's gonna have follow-up.
is that the
meetings and
meeting where
updates.
they were closing or turning
Where-
the substation into internal affairs, that one?
Yeah, that
across
one,
from the-
that we showed drone footage and all that of the bars.
Yes.
Where you, yeah, well,
Yeah,
that,
it was there.
so there will be updates, the progress as we're going.
And
But
because we would like to, measure how, once that police substation closed or was relocated away
Yeah, we're
from the area.
relocated to El Metro here, our bike patrol, we're relocated here to, El Metro.
But you all don't have any, there's no, facility to hold someone in the new place, whereas in the old place, there was a facility to put
Yeah.
someone and hold them.
Correct.
Is that
Now-
correct?
Correct, that has a holding facility to book them, correct, but now we have the West County Jail, I don't know if you saw that initiative.
No.
We transport everyone straight to the county jail and book them there. The chief worked out an initiative with the sheriff, I think it was on social media last Friday, it was on the media. But yeah, that substation there, which is, what is it, San Agustin and Lincoln, that's gonna be, they're actually painting it as we speak, so we're getting ready to put internal affairs in there, so there will be police presence there. But no, you're correct, we don't have the booking room there anymore.
But so internal affairs, so that's not policing the street.
Well-
That's not policing the area, right? That's
Well,
that's
no,
a-
they're
an
not out
office.
on patrol per se, but, they're police officers, somebody knocks on the door, it's a police officer.
And the operations for internal affair is,
I'm sorry,
the operation hours for internal affairs is,
they're 8 to 5 and up to midnight, I believe. I will need to check the schedule, but again, we still have a presence downtown. The chief spoke that day, we added a patrol officer, which was not the case before, we just had our bike patrol, but now we have a patrol officer, so we are 24 hours, 24/7.
So a couple of years ago, the downtown community property of business owners, the police department we had some meeting, I think it was here in city council chambers.
Okay.
And it was very helpful it was the bike patrol at the time,
Yes.
to meet the business owners so that there could be, a working rapport between them. And so that would be, we would greatly appreciate that opportunity again, maybe.
Yes, they have been tasked, they were issued cell phones, they've been tasked to meet with every business owner, introduce themselves again and give them their number, this is my number. Because that was one of the issues that, I'm losing my personal police officer, but we still have bike patrol, like I said.
Well, the relationship, like you said.
Of course, yeah.
you know.
So they are tasked to do that, and so, they should be doing that. If not, we'll remind them again. But that was one of the tasks that they need to do.
Yeah, so, who would we, as the business district, who would we communicate with to set that up? Would it be with you?
Yeah, or with
Okay.
Lieutenant
With myself,
McCook,
okay.
he's working this area.
Oh,
But
okay.
again, the chief will have update meetings, but yeah, you can call us anytime, yeah. But we'll give you our information before we leave.
Thank you.
Mr.
Mr.
Chairman,
Gonzalez.
I guess, Carol, my question would be, is the goal of the downtown business on Iturbide to 24 hours close the street to
I'm
vehicles?
not aware. I'm not
Because
aware.
you mentioned Samir Leyend, that Samir Leyend has been, those streets that they're closed, they've been closed since early 1980s, 90s.
Yeah, but I was going to the airport and I was in my little Uber and we happened upon there was a new festival, and so they just put the cone and they said, you have to go around. And that took quite some time to go around the streets in San Miguel because of the one-ways and small and all that. But, you know, neither here nor there. Streets in downtowns get closed. Sometimes they're permanently closed, like what,
Cause Sixth Street
like
and
what
San
used to be,
Antonio are all nights on.
what's the Aldrich Tangelo Parkway used to be permanently closed and then it was reopened. You know, that's, my concern is just the the perception that it's safer. For me, if I see
Yes,
lights, I'm thinking something's going on.
And I think as all of these new initiatives for downtown are being implemented, I think it will require a lot of outreach and also the engagement of the business owners to
Right.
help the city communicate, you know, with their own customers and with the community on what is going on in downtown and why the police, you know, patrols are there. If at one point those streets are permanently closed, you know, also a campaign to let the community know. Some of the other items that were discussed at the meeting were, you know, promoting more the parking spaces and parking lots that are available in downtown. So I think as these new initiatives are being implemented, and I do want to thank LPD because they have been very engaged with the different stakeholders and even city departments. I think it's gonna require a combination of a collaborative effort to make sure that the perception, you know, is not the perception of an unsafe downtown, but on the other hand, you know, like Mr. Baldasso is mentioning, you know, that this is a safe downtown. And to your point as well, you know, a lot of these initiatives and a lot of these processes have to do with safety of the officers and the customers as well, you know, with the lighting, in my opinion.
I guess it's a perception thing and you kinda get used to it. Remember when the traffic was on 35? You see the police, it wasn't an accident, it was just to slow down everybody.
But, yes, to your point, yes, but the difference between going down I-35 and coming to 8th Street, you're going down I-35 because you need to get somewhere. That's just life, right? But you're coming to 8th Street for entertainment.
You know,
And, yeah.
But I guess what they're saying in the future, because we're gonna see them permanently there, so we're gonna get used to them.
You'll get used to it.
Just to add, you
Yeah.
know, how the world has changed, the challenges now, you know, mass gathering, we have, you know, shootings, mass shootings, so, you know, all those challenges we need to address. And, you know, at times, it may, again, it may appear to somebody, like you said, it makes you feel unsafe, that, or what did you say, that you avoid it because you see the lights?
I may avert, it's,
But-
yeah, I
but
feel,
yeah.
I'm,
Yeah, it's all these new challenges now, you know. We're trying to make it safe for everybody.
I agree with Miriam. I think it's a marketing effort. We need to retrain our community of what downtown means to the new generation, especially working at a university where I hear from our students that they do not come downtown. They haven't even gone to the outlets. Bars, etc., to do some of these initiatives and obviously support our safety planning department.
Can I
yes,
ask a
to
question?
all of that. But also what, I'm sorry, like, is the crime rate downtown higher than in other places? Is there a comparison that we could look at?
We can get some stats, but it fluctuates, and right now we're having an initiative downtown that we're adding extra personnel, so it should
And-
be going
That's part
down.
of the presentation.
But one of the challenges is, you know, the unsheltered.
Yes, that's what I was gonna say,
That's one of the
that's-
things. We also brought a new, I don't know if you saw it on the news, the CARES initiative. We're bringing medical service to them, and to them, we're gonna continue doing that.
In-
We're coming to
I
them.
wanna,
In the
well,
plaza?
I wanna touch,
Yeah, we did it in the plaza to start, but again, the idea is to go to them, to go under the I-35, where, you know, where we see them, that's where we're gonna, but that was just that was just the start at the plaza. I don't know if you saw us on Friday.
No,
Was it-
no, I didn't have time. I mostly get my news from the newspaper.
Okay,
so-
I'm sorry, yeah.
So it's
But it
slow
was funny,
mo.
it was on the newspaper also,
Okay.
but yeah, that's an initiative that's part of downtown also, that, and again, that's the start, but we're gonna grow it, and
And-
we're gonna
and
get
is
more
that-
people involved.
Is that in line with the unsheltered, the study?
Our initiative of the police department, since we're doing enforcement, we're also bringing in services.
And so that, it seems like that's that happens often in our community, that there are professional services delivered, and there's that study. I was at multiple meetings on that,
Okay.
on what to do, on how to address the unhoused population, and they had some specific recommendations on what to do and how to do it, and it's connected with the development of the new shelter that's gonna be has a prominent location in downtown, and so working together, looking at all of those things might help.
Do you have the
with-
study?
Yeah,
And
and
we
that
are-
It's the
cares,
city.
We're
It's the
working with
city.
the Bethany House.
Yeah,
also. We have all these
the
programs.
CARES initiative is with Bethany House, with housing, with,
Yeah, it
with
is.
fire department.
And-
It's a bunch of other departments.
And I wonder
Social
if it's also
services.
with that, looking at those specific recommendations from, do you remember what his name was?
I don't, but I can tell you that a lot of the collaborative efforts that has been implemented or that will be implemented with the new Bethany House Center, I'm almost sure and certain that those recommendations have been
Yeah.
taken into account just by looking at all the services and different, even nonprofit organizations that will have a presence there
Yeah.
to attack this challenge. You know, I think, and again, this is also something it's already being put together, that it will be that it's gonna be implemented.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think for downtown, it's a combination of many different things. You know, it's the safety, it's the unsheltered, population. It's also the business owners and the collaborative efforts. I think it's just a bigger plan, if you will. But yeah, I mean, we can share that study with you, and if this is something that you feel should be addressed at the next meeting, we can.
Mr. Alonso?
Okay, thank you. My question is the following. I know there's a problem in, like, as Mayra was saying, she's more interested in the shopping, as most people here. Downtown is a great place, especially the outlets. How many break-ins into cars have been reported, let's say, in the last month? Do you have that? Do we have that? Because I know San Antonio, you can't leave anything in the car, they'll break into your car
We've
at
had a
North
few
Star.
instances where we have break-ins at the parking lot there at the outlets.
At the outlets?
Yeah,
Okay.
but we had a spike and that was one of the reasons we're adding more personnel,
Okay.
just to
Yeah, and even when we say spike, it was like about 2 or
Yeah.
3 in a week.
yeah, to.
Yeah. 2 or 3 in a week,
It's not
Not
some outrageous
5 a day,
number.
like
Yeah,
San
no,
Antonio.
Yeah, no,
no.
it was, well, we're talking spikes.
Yeah, we
it's-
call it, yeah.
It's smaller numbers, but, we'll go, 1 or 2 weeks with maybe 1, 0, or whatever.
Uh-huh.
And then we'll get like 2 or 3, within
Uh-huh.
a week, and,
So-
like I said, we
It just
say a
pops
spike.
up.
So, but the average will be, if you average a whole year, about 3 a month, maybe?
Yeah, it
Two
depends.
months, yeah.
Usually what we see
Depending.
is 1 or 2 offenders are the ones that
Yeah.
are causing this stuff,
Yeah.
and then they'll get put away, and then it kind of calms down, and
Yeah.
then they come out of Webb County, and it kind of goes up again a little bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
that's it, yeah.
it's a handful of individuals, and when they're put away,
Yeah.
it kind of calms down, and they come back out. And go up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Myra?
and I think that, going back to what you're saying, I think I just saw something of some thief at a specific area in a had caused like 7 or 8 break-ins.
Yeah, in
and,
an
you know,
apartment
yeah.
complex.
Yeah,
So,
Yeah.
Two nights
yeah, thank you
ago.
for bringing that up,
Yeah,
because
that
I said,
was
well, I
2
wanna know
nights
what spike means,
Yeah,
because
Yeah, I'm
spike
sorry,
could be
because we're using
from 0
police
to
terms, yeah.
2, or it could be from 5 to 20, and then
Yeah.
that would probably.
That individual, he broke into five or six cars inside that apartment complex.
Yeah.
And like I said,
And it's one
usually,
person causing all
yeah.
the.
One person, yeah,
Challenge.
we do hotspot mapping, so wherever we see it, what we call it a spike, we see a cluster, that's where we.
And you're already trying to fix that, right?
Correct, no,
Yeah.
we made several arrests, especially
Okay.
downtown, we had an individual that would cross from Laredo, so we caught him. He would just come in and leave,
Okay, yeah.
so we set up surveillance, and so we caught him.
So
We
I-
did catch him.
What I wanted to just bring up was something you mentioned in terms of you all are bringing resources, which is amazing. I love the fact that they're thinking beyond just the scope of what PD is all about. But I know that I had read in another study, in learning about economic empowerment for downtowns such as ours, one of the things that was not an encouragement in studies was bringing resources to the client, because sometimes then the client wouldn't leave. In this case, if we're trying to shed a different light into the environment, it was how do we relocate the client that we don't want in the facility, because maybe it's another place where we need to house it, so we can rebrand our downtown program. I work in student support services, and I work with at-risk individuals. Very different to it, but I have also learned how do we renegotiate to restructure, still serve the clients we're serving, but obviously meeting that demand of what's the purpose of the downtown economic empowerment. So I don't know if that study shows any of that, but I would be interested to know if it's a good strategy to bring the resources to the client, like the unhoused individuals, or is it a good strategy to refocus that and see if we can escort those individuals somewhere else to rebrand what the downtown programming or economic empowerment is all about. And again, these are studies that I've read. I don't know if it's a good strategy for us or not. Again, every community is different, but I just wanted to make sure that was there.
I mean, I think it's challenges as well, like relocate them to other parts of the city, to other cities. Downtown by nature in every city, that's the natural place
Yeah,
where
that's where they come
Congregate.
together.
where they congregate, and even though our downtown is very different from downtowns in other cities, we still, have that, that's the focus and the location where unsheltered individuals it's just organic, they go to that area. But I mean,
Or a
yeah,
different part of the
Yeah, and the
downtown.
goal is to get them to, out of that life,
Like
we're trying to bring
yes.
them out
With
of
all
that
these
life,
services.
get them back into,
Any
Well,
more
that's the
discussion or comment?
I'm not sure if I heard Julian Rovnovsky connected.
No.
No, okay.
But moving on with the presentation items, Economic Development Department Operations and Activity Update.
Yeah, we just wanted to give a.
Go ahead. I was gonna say, thank you to the officers for
Yes, thank you so
showing
much
up
for-
and giving us all the information. Thank you.
anytime.
And of course, for the job you do. I've been a victim of crime a couple of times, and you guys have caught the individual within 24 hours. So
Yes, sir. Thank
Thank
you,
you for
and,
that.
we want downtown to thrive as well,
Yeah.
it's good for everybody. Yeah, we're here for anything you all need.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Councilman Julian, you don't
Yeah.
count. Councilman Julian, you don't count.
Going back to item 6A, I just wanted to give a very brief update on our department. I know Jaime Ortiz has a list, and he included a list of some of the grants that our department has been looking at, and I will pass it on to Jaime.
Hi, good afternoon. I'm Grants Coordinator for the Economic Development Department. Sometime a couple of months back, we presented the list of grants the department submitted in 2013. It is included in your binders. it's only rehab, to rehab the bridges. We're also looking into the 2024 local parks grant with Texas Parks and Wildlife Department. We have identified a project, this to construct the Faskin Community Center pool. We've met with Texas Parks and Wildlife so they could pre-check the project for us. They liked the project, they liked the idea. So we're gonna be moving forward with that project. The maximum award is 1.5 million, which we believe that with that amount, the whole project could be completed. We do have also the 2024 Active Transportation Infrastructure Investment Program. This plan, we still haven't identified the final scope of what we will apply for. It is a minimum of 15 million project, so we do want to identify good projects that will give us or help us reach that 15 million minimum. And this project is due on June of 2024. Those are the upcoming projects. I think I mentioned this in the last meeting. We also, me and Arnold, we help out various city departments with their grants. So these are not the only grants we work on, but these are the grants that our department is working on.
So who would we ask about one of the grants that's here for more specifics? Would it be like?
We can be through our department and we can communicate outside
Okay.
to share some of the plans that we've been working.
Okay.
But this is to apply, or this is things that you already have?
We're working to applying for these
Oh,
grants.
oh. For the infrastructure, as you mentioned here, the MPO,
We work very closely with them.
Yes. So for this
Those guys.
specific grant, we are working with MPO Engineering to help us identify a good project. We are basing ourselves off their active transportation plan. Last time I met with the MPO, they really liked us going after this project, this grant. So.
any comments?
What was the SMART grant about?
Smart grant.
I can take that one. So the Smart Grant was a pilot program that just got released this year. It was a 2-cycle grant. The first one being of the pilot, the second one being the invitation to doing it on a bigger scale. So the cycle 1, which was the pilot, did not have a match, so we went after that. Basically what the grant was looking for was to turn certain corridors into a quote smart corridor with technology, new cameras, sensors, things that communicate with smart cars to reduce traffic and congestion. So given what we have with congestion, we looked at the Mines Road and we looked at trying to turn that into maybe the first smart corridor. We worked with the traffic department to identify some ideas. We identified some hot intersections where we were going to try and add on to what TxDOT already has on those lights, and then build a new transportation, a transportation management center for the traffic department. Because the traffic department, if you've never been there, for what they're able to do out of that little one, they need a lot more space. So we attempted to build a new center for them. That's what we proposed, and to lay fiber optic, because right now everything is wireless with all the noise, the congestion, everything. It disrupts a lot of their ability to really see what's happening on the Mines Road. Their response time and their delays are pretty great there. So we did submit for that, but we unfortunately were not selected for that project.
Okay, I have a question. Which is Santa Fe Park?
Santa Fe Park is South Laredo. Yes, I believe it's District 2,
Okay.
next to Santa Rita.
So yes, whenever this notice of funding come about, we usually, tend to look at all the different districts. And for the most part, projects that are either shovel ready or there are already preliminary studies conducted, because that really helps us put together a strong development application. Some other very brief updates that we wanted to share with you. We are the efforts as well in revitalizing downtown. are evaluating the guidelines for the 8th Street incentive that the city adopted, I wanna say back in 2017. So that's one of the programs that our department will be looking at the guidelines and adopting to promote it and continue with our efforts, combined efforts for downtown. At the same time, we are continuing to look at the NEC guidelines that this committee helped us, with your advice, revamp, but now we're looking at the maps and looking at the possibility of what are the opportunities of maybe identifying other areas where these maps can be rotated for to have a bigger impact. The same with our Chapter 380 guidelines, as per your advice at the last meeting. I know you gave us a window of 60 days, I believe. So it is our hope that we can present some of the recommendations to City Manager's office and then present you with at least the first draft. And then on the operations side, very happy to announce that we will be soon adding 2 more staff members to our department, our business development. Development Administrator, that is the new division that was it's new development or existing businesses that want to grow, business permitting processes, community outreach, presentations, and being more than anything, the main focus of that position will be being the conduit to a streamlined process, and the one, division that business owners can possibly contact at the city that will help them navigate throughout the different departments with whatever their business needs and requirements are. It's a new division, we're developing it. With that, it's gonna come in the development of SOPs as well for this particular division. So we're just, hoping that we can grow that division. Yes.
I imagine you've already hired the person, but it's not public, correct?
We just finished conducting our last round of interviews this week, so we're hoping that we will be making a decision pretty soon.
And I'm wondering if someone's actual experience already proving experience with those skills and mindset.
We follow the human resources, what we call JDQs, as far as what are the education requirements. Obviously, experience plays an extremely important role when we make the determination of who we hire. So that's, since it's a human resources matter, that's all I can share, that we do follow experience, education, and any work related experience in this field.
And just to confirm, these are not new positions, correct? These are vacant positions.
These are positions that had already been approved for our department that we had to reclassify. This one in particular was previously a programs administrator, so we reclassified it to be more targeted, I guess, line of work.
What's it
The
called?
question is, it's an internal hire or it's external?
What is it called?
It can be internal or external.
No,
Business development administrator.
what I was referring to is, these are not new positions at the city council and not, or new line items.
These
For the
positions
These were
had already
there.
been approved
It was
by
just a
council.
reclassification. Yeah, so it was a vacant position, it was just
But
reclassified.
it's not.
It
Malina.
Well, it was, but they left and so.
Do you want to?
No, not this
Oh.
business
So,
development administrator.
There was a problem.
And then
from a guy that deals with all these
No, she
departments,
says-
is this person gonna be able to make a decision
And one's the assistant.
on yay or
That
nay?
one is, that
This,
was,
this particular
And this one
position
has
doesn't have
never-
any powers to
never
make decisions
existed.
on permitting. The idea of this division is to be more of a customer service focused department division that will be the liaison with all these departments.
So, the way I look at it, and this is just my opinion, is it's kind of layering another layer of bureaucracy. Because, I can call the directors directly, right, to get a decision one way or another. And so, by having now to call him before I can call them, it just,
Well,
Well,
no,
the
that's
thing is that not all businesses have that.
One at a
Not
Not all
everyone gets the
businesses
director
have-
on the phone.
Yeah, not all
I mean,
businesses
yeah.
have that direct
well,
connection with the
that-
directors.
then
Not everyone gets
that's
director
bad
on the
on the city, right?
Well,
Because they should be able to get a director on the phone and be able to set up a meeting and get to
Actually,
them.
if I may, this is coming from at least 8 to 10 years ago that this committee has been tasked to support and try to move it to avoid those types of situations from happening. We want a centralized entity to streamline because most individuals had to go to the building, to the planning, to X department, like, we need to have that hub
No,
where
but you're
everybody
still
goes
doing
and
that.
well,
because
then
it's just-
then that's political. If you
They're-
have to go through a director
but
to
they're
get things
still
approved,
going
then that's
through-
different.
They're still going to, this person's still gonna have to go to planning,
Yeah.
still gonna have to go to.
So
Well,
the
but it's
It's
the,
still-
well,
So,
the goal is
I
that this
do-
person is the hub where then they
Like a
don't have to
one-stop
be
shop.
going all these other places, rather it's
yeah, but.
educating.
The one
tools.
challenge
I
that
mean,
we wanna attack is
what
that a
would be
lot of
great
businesses
if
don't know
this
where to
person can
start.
make a decision, that would be great. Because he can't make a decision on, to your point, the experience, right? Does he know about engineering? Does he know about planning? Does he know about,
No.
traffic? Does he know, I mean, you almost have to have a professional engineer there. That,
Well, for,
or a city manager should be doing it,
For
or
at
assistant
least-
city manager.
at least 60.
I'm
Well, the
I'm just
purpose of
saying.
this position is not to have someone that will make decisions on permitting or not. The purpose of this position is to be the conduit and the liaison with between the business community and the city. There's one of the challenges that we have been hearing a lot with some of the processes is that a lot of businesses maybe don't know where to start, what type of permits would they need, because a tire shop is very different than a restaurant. This is what that position will do, be
That's
the
a
conduit
different,
between.
that's a different deal.
Yeah, it's
It is a
one-stop
different
shop.
deal, you know, the one-stop shop for industrial developments and bigger projects, they have their own process.
That's the same, okay.
Yes,
Alright,
they
so-
have their own process. Now, will this position be a liaison and some way or another? In that regard, yes, we are economic development, we're here to serve the public, we're here to inform them and pretty much, not literally, but take them by the hand and tell them, okay, is this the type of business that you are interested in? These are the departments that you will be contacting, I am your liaison, this is the list of all the permits that you will
These are the
require.
applications you
These
have
are
to
the
fill
list,
out.
these are the list of all
That-
the
that's
inspections
a-
that you will be expecting. Do you have a concern with the fire department? I'm your liaison. Let me see what's going on with the fire department and understand what, information, documentation, or whatever the case may be, needs to be done so that we can move your permit, forward. This is not a bureaucratic, I guess,
Position?
Hopefully.
well, in
Well,
the,
position, but we'll see.
well, you know, but the moment that this, to answer your question, this position will have no power over permitting. It's on the contrary to attack the fact that you just mentioned, that a lot of business owners don't have a direct access to, decision makers, and all they need is the guidance and the support and the training and the education on how to make their business successful, you know, and the
that is
liaison
a
with city
completely
departments.
different animal than what I was thinking, right? Because, I mean, statute, code, and ordinance are very black and white. And if you follow those, you should get through your permitting process without a problem. And what happens is, there's a lot of opinions from staff in those systems that bog it down. So I don't have to call this guy, go talk to them, because, or anybody would have to.
I mean, we cannot force any developer or business owner to call us. All we're doing is creating a division that will be available for the public, and that we can provide the services and the information and the guidance that they need. If at one point this position becomes a position that will have the power to make decisions, that is out of my department's
Right.
hand and out of this committee's hand, and it's really by city managers. And now going back to the ordinance, will this position have some, obviously this position will have to follow ordinances as well. And
Of course.
the role of that position will be to explain and educate and guide the individual on how to read the ordinance and the whys and the why nots on, you know, whether a permit can move forward or not.
Right.
But yes.
I have another question.
Yeah.
It seems like I see how, this is specifically something that I've been looking for in this city, for years. who does a new, not an established business or business operation, but as a city, we're always competing with other cities.
Mhm.
We're always competing, and we're competing for talent and to retain our talent. And so if we are gonna be a city of entrepreneurs, we need to provide some roadmap to how you succeed in this city.
Mhm.
And I'm hoping that this is a new position, correct?
It's a reclassified position,
But
yes.
it was reclassified as what? What was it before?
Programs administrator.
And was there a programs administrator?
Yours truly served for 3 months as programs administrator.
So is it,
Was having-
Oh, but
it
it's-
was a position held by someone, but in the reclassification.
but you, and then you became the director
Mhm.
in 3 months. And so it's really new. It's gonna provide new opportunities for potential businesses and existing businesses to know where to go when when you have traffic problems, where to go when you have trouble with the police, where to go when you have an inspector come in and say, fire, code, or your bathroom or whatever. There hasn't been that ease of accessibility to find out. When you ask, who do I go to? They say, well, for this you go to building, for this you go to planning, for this you go to, you're running all over the place. Everything gets diffused and
And by no means will this position be the centralized division that will process all those applications. The business, the permitting process will remain the same. The idea about this position is to streamline the outreach and the education and giving the business community the guidance that they need, as opposed to just going to one department and not knowing, and then 1 week later, they find out that they need something else from another department.
And they
It's
have you
the, it's the one division where we will literally sit down with them and tell them, okay, based on your business plan, these are all the departments that you will need to apply for, these are the forms, this is what you can expect, these are the inspections that may be involved in this particular project, and
The
follow
zoning
up
that
with
you
who
have to
does
look
that,
for.
who does that now?
Nobody.
That's why they're doing this.
No, so this is gonna provide, this is a huge position if we are competing
But
against other
it's a new
cities.
division outside of economic development?
it's an division under economic development. And right now, our building department, they are the ones that, and as you know, there's different types, there's residential, there's commercial, there's industrial. This position, it's the one centralized division that will be able to guide individuals
Identify, tell
and
you
identify.
What you
yes.
need.
If someone calls the city and says, I wanna open up a coffee shop, and they're getting
They
the,
refer them with us.
so then they'll refer to you, and then you'll now refer to this individual.
It's,
So it's gonna matter if this
look at it as
individual,
the
it's good-
gatekeeper.
it's gonna matter if this
For what?
individual has experience or is learning on the job for 2 years and there's a learning curve. It's
yes.
gonna matter.
I have
This-
to
this
tell you,
person.
I think being here with this committee long enough, and I've worked with Miriam and the team, I trust that they're gonna bring talent to the team that will be prepared to navigate and support the mission of this position. I think I would wanna see that, and again, my experience has been pleasant. It's taken a little while, but I think we're headed in the right direction.
If
And I
this
can
is-
see where you're coming from because of so many years of not having what we
No
need.
pressure.
I
know.
think.
If this is
Say Miriam, no.
If this is a concern about the decision that is made at the director level on who our department thinks is gonna be a good fit, I think, like I mentioned, we follow the process that we have under that JDQ for that particular position.
I
Yes,
don't know what a
experiences.
JDQ is.
It's a job description.
It's
Like
just
the
a job
minimum
description
requirements
by
are-
human resources, yes.
And you have to follow those because it's also employment law are associated
I have a
with it.
question after we
So
finish
whoever
with this
gets
topic.
hired they're competing against each other depending on how many people apply, correct? And if somebody is hired that has no experience doing this position,
I don't think.
I don't think
that's
HR will-
part of
Well, if
their
it happens, it
requirements.
happens, we can't do
No,
anything.
but
Well, yeah, because
it's part of the
people can be-
requirement. of
But that's
experience.
also very subjective, I think a lot of
experience is subjective?
No, not the
No,
experience
not the
itself.
experience.
But it's based on the city manager, Miriam cannot control what the city manager's thought process is, so we're
Yeah.
questioning Miriam, but it's
Is it the,
the
well,
city
what's
manager,
the-
I
but
don't,
it's.
I don't have the city manager here to question.
Well,
That's
she's
his-
Well, can
upstairs.
I
I don't know where you'll be
And
next.
I don't
And I
have
think that
access
is
to
a
him.
human
I don't have
Of course you
access.
do.
and
Let's go right now.
operational
Okay.
Yeah, let's go
management.
right now and see if I
Yes.
can
You
get
can
in.
just go knock.
Let's go see if we
Chairman.
knock
Make an
and get in
appointment.
and have a meeting.
Chairman.
See if
Okay,
that
good.
works, yeah.
My only purpose of this report is to let you know how the department is growing, the efforts that we're doing in attacking some of the issues that have been brought up, whether it's downtown, whether it's a liaison for the business community, whether are the grants that we're going after to make sure that we improve our quality of life. Any concerns related to human resources and the hiring process that we have, I'll be more than glad to, forward them and escalate them to the correct venue. But as advisory committee members, and we value your advice that you give us with our initiatives, we thought it was important to share with you that the department is growing and that we will continue to grow and evolve and make sure that we provide the services that are expected from the department and from this new division.
Mr. Baldasso, you had something? to say?
Okay. We have, I don't know how many committees in the city.
Muchos.
Now, how many committees do we have that are specific to downtown? Just specifically downtown committees? Do we have a
Well,
count?
we have a board, which is the Business Improvement District, and it is pretty much its own, I guess, governing body. This committee itself gets involved in some of the downtown issues. If you consider the Historical Commission a group that talks about downtown and has interest in downtown, that's another one. Convention and Visitors Bureau has a lot of interest as well. We have the CHERS, the Texas Increment Reinvestment Zone for downtown as well, that's a board.
Another new one, the art.
The Arts and
which
Culture
also
Commission,
looks-
which is under public library, they also have a lot of programs that have to do with downtown.
The
Okay.
airport, the parks. all
No,
that.
we're saying downtown. Okay, so,
But the airport connects to downtown because if it brings people in that are
well, the
coming to
highway,
visit.
Texas, everybody connects to
Everybody,
downtown.
yeah.
Exactly. Well, I'm saying specific committees. Okay, so we'll say about 6, right?
I would disagree because the airport, when I watch the airport committee, all
Okay,
the.
7.
all-
7. Let's count
Well,
7.
no, well, I have to look at all of them. are
Okay, how many do
connected
you say? we have?
Because I think all of them, downtown
Okay.
connects to everything, it's the center of the city.
Let's say all of them.
All of them.
Okay, then we don't have to devote so much time to downtown. As I think most of our meetings, half of the time is about downtown, and there's so many other areas.
I agree with
I mean, I would like to see other topics.
What's
And
on
as
the-
advisory
what's on
committee
the
members, you
agenda?
have as advisory committee members, you
As
have
Carol said,
the
every
public to
committee
advise
talks
us.
about downtown.
But what,
There's-
this is, we had an opportunity, right, to put stuff on the agenda.
We have the opportunity to put.
Yeah, no. What I'm saying is maybe we can also look at other areas in the city that need assistance or focus on something else. I love downtown. I come here, as a matter of fact, I'm doing business as soon as this business is over, this meeting is over. I come to La Posada, the restaurants downtown. I have nothing against downtown. I'm just saying there's so many committees that maybe our effort, our resources, we can also share with other districts and other areas.
I think there's an opportunity to diversify the issues and challenges that this committee, that you all get engaged in. A lot of it, and to your point, yes, this committee, or at least in the year and 2 months that I've been serving as a director, this committee has engaged in a lot of time and effort has been last meeting, we talked objectives. I would recommend that at the next
Échale ganas, dice.
And we just appreciate it, and nurses,
Before we move to the cake, motion to adjourn.
motion.
Cumpleaños, Mr. Hazel.
Happy birthday, Hazel.